Hello and welcome back to our YouTube channel. Energyexperts.ca is the website. My name is Stephen. Hopefully we've chatted previously, and if it's the first time viewing us, you might find a whole lot of information that is useful for you on your home, how to keep it comfortable, energy bills, things like that. So please watch us on YouTube, share the channel, like us in the like button. My name is Stephen. I'm the owner of VerdaTech. You can find us at energyexperts.ca. And today I've been asked to do a little bit of a conversation about how do you keep a basement warm. So if you've got a house that's maybe only got one furnace, and how do you keep the basement warm? So a lot of our clients who've had energy evaluations done, they've asked us to sort of expand on the options you have for making basements a little bit warmer. And let's get going. So I'm here in my home, which is a 2-story back walkout home. And we're going to sort of just have a quick look around and talk about the house. So if you can see behind me, you'll notice that we've got the upstairs, that is the second level. This is also a back walkout, and this house has one furnace in it. So when I moved into this home, one of the challenges we had was the basement was really, really cold compared to the rest of the home. So one of the first things that you would consider is, where is your thermostat? So let's have a look here. I'm just sort of going to pan around, and you can see from behind me, there is my Ecobee Thermostat. So as you'll notice, that's in the center of the house. It really doesn't have a lot of relevance to the temperature in, let's say, this room here, which is my living room. We don't have any real indication what's happening there. And then if we went down into the basement, you'll see that behind me, we would have the same problem. Basements tend to be cold. But we have the same issue if you go upstairs. You also don't end up with a really good representation of the temperature throughout the home. So what we've done on this house is I've done a couple of things. One is I have a number of these. These are remote sensors from the Ecobee Thermostat. Again, it's a remote sensor. It's got a motion detector built into it. So what happens here on a case like this is when we go back to the thermostat, that there has multiple sensors attached to it. So one, it's measuring the temperature in the living room, it's measuring the temperature in the basement, and it's measuring the temperature on the second floor. So with this type of system, I can program the temperature sensor according to how I use the house. So on the main floor, this sort of pan around, you'll notice this is my main floor. I want that temperature to be comfortable during the hours that I'm using it. And normally when I get home from work, that's somewhere in the region of 5:30, 6 o'clock until about 9 p.m. in the evening. Sorry, maybe more like 10 p.m. in the evening. So that becomes my control point. The second time, or the second set point, is in the evenings when once my wife and I go upstairs to bed, we would then want the temperature to be more controlled based on the second level and the master bedroom. So again, I have one of those sensors in the bedroom, and I set my schedule up so that the second floor becomes controlled on a sensor later in the day or later in the evening. In the basement, I have another sensor, so when I'm down there, it picks up the motion detector, knows that I'm down there, and then will try and control to that. What you can also do is you can have it set that it averages the temperature between all the different sensors. You can have multiple sensors throughout the home. So one of the first things I would suggest considering when you've got cooler areas in the home, get yourself an Ecobee thermostat. This is what's behind me here. Make sure you've got a number of sensors that go on with that. Make sure you can program to how you use the home. They have motion detectors built into it. So in a way, it's like having a thermostat in your pocket that, in other words, the temperature follows you around the home or gives you an average temperature. The other one is on the controls on the thermostat, set your furnace fan to either continuous operation or long periods of time. I think this one's set 50 minutes every hour, so it's got long periods of time that the fan is running. Why would you do that? Well, if I've got hot temperatures on the second level, or hotter temperatures on the second level, colder temperatures in the basement, by having the furnace fan run on a more regular basis, I end up in a position that I have more even temperatures. So I've got a better filtration, I get better humidity control, and I get more even temperatures throughout the home by running that furnace fan on a more continuous or ongoing basis. Again, if you've got a newer furnace, you want to have an ECM motor or a high performance, high efficiency motor, and that means it's not going to cost you a whole lot of money. The other thing that I'd recommended is, and we speak about in one of the other videos, go and look at the Hoimi damper video that talks about make sure that damper is closed when the furnace fan is running and there's no heat on. That's the next thing. But go and look at the Hoimi damper video that talks about how do you control the outside air. So this is good for ventilation, but you get that mixing of the air, you get better humidity control, better filtration as well. So that will help you in your basement. And then the last thing, or the other thing that you should be doing before we get into more expensive upgrades, is considering what we call air balancing. So if we do a bit of a walk around, let's just focus on the main floor here right now. At the entrance, we have a floor register in the room where we started in. Behind me, just near the windows, we'll have some floor registers as well. Here we've got a floor register on that side here. Obviously, we've got near the window, that's where we get most of our heat transfer. If we walk over, we'll have another one down here. Again, that is a supply register. You can see that if we go a little closer, you can see the supply register on the floor. And these are all throughout the home. So we can just walk around. I'm not looking at the return air, I'm looking at the supply airs. You've got them mostly under the windows is the best place to find them. Ensure that you don't have any furniture blocking those, so you can control the heat and the amount of air coming through. The other one that you want to think about is look in your kitchen, look in your bathrooms. You have what we call kick plate heaters. So you'll notice under the kitchen sink here, there we have a kick plate heater. So there's the supply for the kitchen. That one's also got a damper on this. So what you want to do is you want to look at those, find all of those in the home, and make sure that you've balanced the air. So for obvious reasons, those that are closest to the furnace are likely to have the most air coming out of them. If we go upstairs, we can do the same sort of thing. But if you think about the distance from the furnace, for example, let's go into one of the bonus rooms, one of the rooms that is above the garage, but also probably the furthest away from the furnace. So you can see the register in the floor in here. So what's going to happen is that's possibly going to get the least amount of air. But the other thing that's happening in this room, we've also got an exposed wall. I've got an exposed floor, which means it's colder floor, colder walls, and a ceiling. So this may need more air than other areas of the home. So that's that air balancing, right? So you can control the amount of air using the dampers in the floor registers, kick plates, and areas that are sort of further away, but exposed floors will need more air. So in regards to the basement, what you want to be able to do is drive more air down there if possible. But in summer and winter, they'll be different. And let's just explain why that would happen. Your thermostat, which we're talking about here on the wall, is going to be one that is registering the temperature on the main floor. But if you haven't got those remote sensors of the Ecobee, you're not going to be able to measure the temperature in the basement. The main floor is getting some nice sun and it's warming up, but the basement is not reacting to the ambient temperatures. Therefore, it won't turn on the heater because the basement's cold. So what you want to do is have some way of knowing what the temperature is in your basement. So once again, you'll notice we've only got a single furnace that does the whole house. The other thing that I have done, now we get into the more expensive options, is if we walk over, you'll notice that I have a Combi Boiler. This is a Navian Combi Boiler. It's running at a 95% AFUE. This is a Combi Boiler. In other words, it does my domestic hot water. It also does my space heating as well. And therefore, I will have the opportunity to eventually put some baseboard heaters down here in the basement. So there's my basement. This is a walkout basement. You'll notice in a typical basement, you've only got ceiling registers. There's a couple of registers in the ceiling. There's one over there. Here's another one that we have here. But we have no way of changing the temperature dramatically in the basement, and it doesn't get affected by the sun the same way as the main floor. So eventually getting to more expensive options would be to look at putting baseboard heaters, radiant heaters, separate heat source down in the basement. I do not recommend putting electric heat. Electric heat is 100% efficient, but the electricity is an expensive energy, so rather try and use your main heat source if possible, particularly if you're in the Alberta, Saskatchewan market. Think about a natural gas-fired boiler, a combi system that would give you independent heat into your basement and independent control. Hopefully this was help you in regards to colder basements and trying to keep them more comfortable. Again, my name is Stephen. Please find us at energyexperts.ca. If you're looking at doing some of these upgrades, you want some in-home consulting, please make sure you contact us. We can get a energy consultant out to your home, help you do the energy evaluation, and walk you through the process of any of the government grants. And as most of you now know, there are grants galore. There's the Greener Homes program, there's programs in Edmonton, there's programs in BC, there's programs in Ontario. There are lots and lots of programs out there. Watch out, CMHC is coming. CMHC has a new one coming out as well, not a grant, but it's a loan program. Watch for that as well. So there are lots of incentives to help you make your homes more comfortable, save or reduce your greenhouse gas emissions. And we're going to do a video later this weekend on utility bills. We know they're all going up, and we'll talk about how do you control those utility bills. But this is the time to upgrade your home. Contact us at energyexperts.ca. And you know what, if you've got friends and family who've got basements you're trying to help them with, please share this video, like this video, and hopefully this was helpful. Thanks for watching. My name's Stephen. I'm from VerdaTech, energyexperts.ca, and good chatting to you.